Welcome back to Market Pros, and let's get right into it. Alright, so here we have Ethereum on Coinbase. On the weekly, we're going to start with zooming out, and then we're going to zoom in as we go. This will be a little bit of a longer Ethereum video. I haven't covered Ethereum in a while, so I kind of want to give a full layout of it. So here on the weekly, we did have a pretty bad week, alright? But now, this is a higher low, or a higher high than this last high. Now, we did have a lower low on this last, so when we first came down and had this low, it was a lower low and a lower high. And then we got another lower low, which would have made people think that we were going much lower, but we ended up reversing. A lot of that had to do with Bitcoin. Bitcoin still moves the market. We are in the neutral median zone on the weekly. We are above the signal line, though. And on the MACD, we did just get a bullish cross of the signal line and our first green bar on the histogram, which is a dark green bar. So we have momentum on the weekly. It did take a while to build up, but these three weekly candles did push that momentum up quite a bit. Volatility is in the lower zone. On the weekly, we haven't moved that much, on the weekly. So let's zoom in a little bit. Let's go down to the daily. All right, so here we're on the daily. We did make a lower low, but we did make a higher high than this one and these two. RSI's in the neutral median zone. We are below the signal line. MACD fresh cross to the downside on the daily. And two red bars on the histogram, dark red. Volatility is getting low, but as the price action's going down, which means this could just be a correction. Now, your moving averages did just cross the 100 bullish. On the daily, this looks pretty good. I mean, we got rejected from the 200, but I mean, we are still holding this red zone right here. We did get above it, which was very important. We did get rejected by the 200, like I said, but it looks like the 21 and this red zone right here is kind of holding us up, keeping us from dropping lower. We could come down to the 50, or even between the 50 and the 200. But honestly, this is a good level of support that we're at right now. The daily still has half of it left to go, so we'll see kind of where that goes. Let's go down to the 8-hour. All right, so here we have the 8-hour. We did fall below the 21 and the 50. Once again, we're being held up by our red box here. Came back up, having some trouble getting back above the 50. We did have high volume on this sell-off right here. Did have a higher high, but now we've made a lower low. So we need to make a higher high. We need to get back above this 21, first of all. I think if we can get back above, 3,450, we could make a higher high than this, but it's only if we get back above there, get back above this last high, which would be resistance at this point. So if we can flip that into support, that would look good. Now we are in the bearish control zone. It looks like we're trying to, work our way out, but we are below the signal line. MACD, fresh cross of the zero line. We do have one light red bar though. So we need to bounce off of this zero line in order to remain bullish. But it wouldn't take much to do that. If we could get out of the bearish control zone and bounce off the zero line, volatility stay high as we break the 21, I think that would give us enough momentum to break out bullish again, make a higher high. Let's move down to the 4-hour. All right, so here on the 4-hour, your moving averages, your 21 and your 50 do have negative slopes. As long as they don't cross the 100 at the same time, that won't be too bad. If we do, we'll talk about the upside and downside targets on the 1-hour. Bearish control zone, we are just, so we could have a test here. This could be a test and a resumption down. It's fighting the signal line right now. Volatility's in the upper zone. MACD is curling back around. We do have our negative momentum decreasing on the histogram. So, we're going to head down to the 1 hour and see where we're at there, because that's going to, trickle into the 4 hour and work its way up. So let's go down to the 1 hour. All right, so here on the 1 hour, first of all, I notice our 100 and our 200 about to cross bearish. All your moving averages have negative slopes. You did get out of the bearish control zone, though. We are above the signal line. MACD is trying to head back up to the 0 line. Positive momentum is increasing. Volatility is working its way down. We just entered the lower zone, which, we could just play out a range here. We'll see. If we get rejected from here, we could probably play out a range. We did make a higher high than this one. Could get rejected from the 50 if we do come back up here. But let's talk about upside and downside targets. Okay, so if we do break out to the upside from here, we're going to measure this whole move right here. Let's see. Bring this down a little bit. All right, so your 618, well, first of all, your 382 is right by your 50. So if you get rejected from there, that's not going to look good. That's going to look like it's a shallow corrective move to the upside. Now, if you can get up to your 618, which will also end up being where your 200 and your 100 are sitting, at least your 100, then that would be your bear trap or your bull trap area. Honestly, you need to get above the 786 in order to be bullish again, which is also the point of control here on the VPVR. High level of resistance there. That level is at basically 3450, which also corresponds with this resistance. That's going to be a high level of resistance. All that corresponds together. That is the level you need to get above in order to make a new high. Now, if we do break out, my first target would be the 1414 at 3686. Next would be the 618 at 3763. If we break down, my first target would be, let's see here. First target would be basically $3,000. Then if we break $3,000, I could see us coming a lot lower, getting a bounce at basically 2,800. Honestly, I think we could probably reverse from there. There is a lot of support at different levels. I could see us getting a bounce from 3,000, 2,900, and then possibly a reversal at 2,800. So, all right, so on your MACD, you do have a strong curvature to the upside. You are printing a dark green bar right now. Your RSI, we did just get out of the bearish control zone. Looks like we're coming back down for a retest. Volatility's entering the lower zone. We are above the signal line. Let's see here. So we do have bullish divergence, but that's probably already played out on the 1 hour. Remember, you got your 382 next. So watch that level, 3,300. That's going to be your next level of resistance. So on the long term, Ethereum looks good. On the medium term, it's kind of iffy. In the short term, it's kind of neutral right now. We're going to see where this goes. A lot of this depends on what Bitcoin does as well. So if Bitcoin, starts dropping, that's going to take Ethereum with it. But if Bitcoin behaves, goes sideways or goes to the upside, then I think Ethereum will have a nice move and it will trickle to the higher time frames. So those are my thoughts for Ethereum. You guys like the video, like and subscribe if you want. Everyone have a great morning, great afternoon, great evening, and I'll see you in the next one.